BpsRps, we're live. We're getting live on Twitter here, I think. There we go. All right. Live on YouTube, live on Twitter, December 29th, the eve of the eve of the eve. 2 more days left in this this beautiful, awesome year. Today in baseball, nothing happened. Again, baseball today. Oh, 1969, today in baseball in the history. The New York Times reports that Curt Flood will sue baseball. Yo, MK, I beat you to it. If you want to yo Tony me, I got you. What's going on, brother? Let's talk about today in baseball. Nothing happened. Curt Flood. 1933, Jacob Rupert, the owner of the Yankees, refused to release Babe Ruth to become the manager of the Reds. Babe Ruth, all he ever wanted to do was manage after his career. Nobody ever gave him a chance. I think somebody said he couldn't manage himself. How could he manage a team? I thought he managed himself pretty damn well. One of the greatest baseball players ever. But I guess that's why I'm not a baseball owner. Richie Sexson was born in 74. Tomas Perez, he was a jobber for the Phillies. He was born in 73. Devon White, 1962. He was going to leadoff hitter for the Angels, Blue Jays. That's all that happened today in our lovely, beautiful sport of baseball. Slow day. Guess the cold weather. I'm going to start out with a music pack. Once again, we're searching for George Michael again. Oh, John Lennon. The first card. This is awesome. John Lennon, one of the greatest artists of all time. This is him in New York. He loved New York City. He actually moved there, the Dakota building. Jobber Lennon. He was a proponent for peace and love. See the peace sign? Wasn't lying. He was brutally murdered by a man whose name I'm not going to mention to give him any more attention, is what he wanted. Great card right there. The Doors, Jim Morrison, lead singer. Morrison left the band in 71. He moved to Paris to write poetry. Gwar. The G stands for jobber. Jeff Healey Band. I mean, I know, didn't we? Who knows what he'd probably still be writing great music today. No offense to McCartney, I love McCartney too, but his last 12 albums were bad. But I don't think that Lennon would have got to that point. I think he would continue to put out good music, album after album. Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, R.I.P. Right. That's a good point. I could have seen him doing that too. Soundgarden was really good Seattle grunge band. Chris Cornell, Matt Cameron, the drummer, he was pretty good. I don't know the other two. Super unknown. Paul Young. Yeah, I think he would have liked the technology, I think. If you looked at, if you remember Double Fantasy, he was getting a little bit, most of it was acoustic, but I think he experimented a little bit. He did say he liked disco, I remember reading. But he would have adapted to the music times. Can you picture him rapping? Maybe a duet with him and Big Daddy Kane? Would have been great. The Go-Go's. Belinda Carlisle. Right there. There she is. Told you guys she was the lead singer. Ozzy Osbourne. Here's the baseball connection. Gold Glove shortstop for the Cardinals. They weren't they? Jane Weiland. Here it is. Belinda Carlisle, Charlotte Caffey, Jane Weidlin, Kathy Valentine, and Gina Schock. The C, Schock. Ah, Heavy D and the Boys. If you look all the way on my right, that's my twin. Simple Minds. Anybody remember them? Don't You Forget About Me? Breakfast Club. It's the only song of theirs I know. Oh, Ozzie Guillen, of course. And Manager. That was a great pack. It was a phenomenal pack. That's a great movie, wasn't it? Yeah. That's like a prototypical 80s movie. The Breakfast Club. Loved it. Every time it's on TNT, gotta watch it. Book of Boba Fett. Did you check it out? 91 OPG. The goal here is any Blue Jay or Expo because it's French. The OPG was French. Yep. EMP, TBS. And any of the songs that come on the radio, I'll listen to also. I think that's the only one. Simple Minds. All right, no spoilers. Saturday, we'll start spoilers. This will give everybody Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like 4 days. But it was good. It was good. Mike Timlin, Blue Jays, we hit the goal. He's a Lancourt, which is French for pitcher. Mike Timlin was like middle reliever. Dwight Evans on the Orioles, that's weird. You always think of Dewey as the Red Sox outfielder. But he went to the Orioles, AL East division rivals. Donnie Baseball. Good old number 23, Don Mattingly. My man Rob 1. This is your PC. He is a premier butt. Says right there, French. Am I making it up? Pete Sharek, Lancourt for the Mets. Oh, Voltigware for the Mets. UB Brooks, former Dodger. Voltigware means outfielder. George Bell, another Voltigware. He was a Cub. He was originally a Philly. They lost him in the Rule 5 draft, I think in 81. Imagine George Bell and the Phillies. In 86, they finished like 30 games behind the Mets. If they had George Bell, they might have finished like 17 games behind them. And Luis Soho. They named the whole section of Manhattan after him. I don't know why he wasn't a good player. Would have been. Wouldn't he? Would love him and Schmidt. Imagine what they could have did. Bowman Platinum. Kohei Arihara. What other Rule 5s were good? You had George Bell, Johan Santana. Roberto Clemente was a Rule 5 pick. There were a couple others I can't remember right now. Odumble, Herrera. A horrible human being, but he had like a good half year for the Phillies. I think that's the only time you'll ever compare Odumble, Herrera, and Roberto Clemente in the same. That's who I'm thinking. Yeah, Victorino, that's right. That was great. That contributed to 08. Worth. I don't know if he was Rule 5. I don't think so. How did they get him? Wait, got this thing called Google. It's pretty cool. I can type in how the Phillies acquired. Did the Phillies get Jason Worth? It'll tell us. Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. He was an Oriole, 97 to 2000. Blue Jay for 01 and 02. Phillies, here it is. Oh, they signed him as a free agent. December 20th, 2006. It's almost 15 years ago. They traded Jeff Conine to the Reds to make room for him. I don't remember Jeff Conine on the Phillies. Wow, Pat Burrell, Aaron Rowan, and Shane Victorino. Wow, there's some names, aren't they? Michael Bourne. They're talking about like players that Worth played for. They opened 08 platooning him with Jeff Jenkins. He was a good player. Yeah, Rowan. Remember he busted his face? King M on YouTube. What's up, brother? I don't like how the Phillies fans booed Jason Worth after he signed with the Nationals. I think that was Bush League. I always say that they offered him so much money. I would have booed him not to take that money. We're talking about Jason Worth and his impact on the Philadelphia Phillies. Right. It's not like he demanded to leave like Scott Rowland. Then I would boom. Or JD Drew, who avoided one in here. They're worthy, no pun intended. They're worthy of boos. Right. You play your whole life to get that, hopefully, like at least one time free agency deal. That's what he did. I was proud of him. I think it was the next year when he came here. I remember I actually gave him a standing ovation. Just my little protest to the ungrateful fans. Speaking of free agent signings, this is a horrible one. The Texans signed this guy, Kohai Arihara, for 3 years before last year. Oh, King M brought up a good point. Aaron Rowan misplayed that ball, and we love him because of it. Yeah, he did. Didn't he get turned around going to center field? Wow. That was about 15 years ago. Speaking of Phillies, Mick Abel. Guys, don't tell anybody I told you. I think he's going to be a good pitcher. Mink, the day your son was born. It wasn't it? Willie Mays catch face plant. Yeah. King M on YouTube says a good fielder catches it on the fly. You met Aaron Rowan at the hospital. Tell us that story. We're going to talk about Rowan was in the hospital when my nephew was born, and my brother actually saw him in the hospital. What did he say to him? Nice catch or something? And he said, piss off, loser. Nah, he didn't say that. I forgot what he said. He said something classy. Mick Abel, trade him. If you're in dynasty leagues, he's going to be good, but not for another like 4 or 5 years. Right now, it's his highest point that you could sell high until about 2025. Wife goes into labor. He goes to Jefferson up to the hospital, and we're both in the elevator. I said, "What WTF, my buddy AJ?" Chris Bryant, Snowflake. Maybe he'll be a Philly. Buster Posey, happy retirement. Obi, if you're watching. That was a good pack. Aaron Rowe was like the anti, what's that guy's name? Ricky Waters. Remember? He didn't want to go, I think, over the middle. That's the proper football term. And he said, for who, for what? He's a good player in the Niners, though. 03 Leaf. Number off my back memorabilia cards featuring game-used jersey numbers. For who, for what? Yeah. That cemented him as like a villain in Philadelphia history. Terrell Owens will go across the middle. I can't name any other wide receivers that would do that. I mean, I'm sure some of them would. I just don't know who they are. Mike Quick. Juan Gonzalez. His arm's blending. It looks like he has like no arm. It's blending in the t-shirt underneath. But when you hit that many home runs, you know, you really get around on the ball. Oh, this is a double-sided card. This is odd. This is him on one side, on the other. Never seen a card like that before. No stats or nothing. It's just his name and position. I don't know the context, see? I just heard what Philly media perpetrated. I don't really listen to it. No, I just never really liked it. It was always like roster baiting trades and complaining about the players. It's always some dude who like thinks he knows more than the GM. Well, we should trade Mike Schmidt and get Shannon Stewart, like the Phillies will automatically do it. Mike Lowell. Speaking of third baseman named Mike, remember Mike Lowell? He was a third baseman for the Marlins. He was a Yankee originally. I don't remember how he went to the Marlins. Got to throw the Stauffer signal up. He can probably clear that up for us. Is that really what happened? That makes total sense. Carl cleared it up. It was a blowout game. Why lay himself out for a bad pass? I never knew that, see? So now my opinion of him has changed. But if I just listened to 610 back in the day, as I did, thank you, brother. Thank you. Shannon Stewart, he was a pretty good outfielder. Leadoff hitter. Toronto. Here's a Philly we all remember, Vincente Padilla. Came over in the Kurt Schilling trade, right? Padilla, Nelson Figueroa, Omar Dahl, and Travis Lee. Eric Davis, Reggie Jackson, 44 caliber killer. Jason Jennings, he's a Rockies pitcher. That's all you need to know about him. Roberto Alomar on the Mets. Oh yeah, Padilla's Flotilla, that's right. Part of the Wolf Pack, Burls Girls, the fan sections. I forgot Alomar was a Met. Wow, Sammy Sosa, he looks gigantic in this picture. Gold Leaf rookies. It's a White Sox, Carl. Joe Borchard, outfield. That's like a silver parallel universe. A little shiny. Borcher, he was a good prospect with them. Never since, it never quite worked out. Yeah, Sammy Sosa, he's a Cowboy now. It's amazing what happened to him. Oh, Dallas Perez and Josh Wilson. I never heard of either of these two guys. Because it's safe to say they're scrubs. All right, final pack of the evening. We got Topps Series 2. Canseco? I don't know what the goal is. The goal is definitely not a team card, especially the Cubs team, especially when you have the last names on the back of the jerseys. Ryan O'Hearn. Oh, Dallas was? Yeah. I don't remember him. O'Hearn was always plays well in September against like minor league pitching call-ups. Braxton Garrett, Miami pitcher. We got a Philly. No, former Philly, thankfully. Not Vicente Padilla, but Vince Velasquez. Remember he started the year off really good? Like 5 games in, he was doing really good. And then Mr. Work woke him up. Said, time to get off the island, Vince. Zach Gallen. Don't forget him in your redraft leagues. Yeah, he fizzled out real fast. I think the minute I picked him up and someone take a chance with him in some leagues, I took a chance with my ERA and whip. Ryan Braun, FedEx guy. You know what? He never really formally like apologized for ruining the FedEx guy's rep. So we're gonna fix that for him. Ryan Braun is now banned. Trevor Rogers. I didn't think he would be this good. He had a really good year for the Marlins. The Marlins are like the anti-Rockies. Any pitcher is going to be good. Any Rockies, not so much. Wow, Michael Pineda. I didn't know he got that big. All right, here's the silver foil. Adbert Alzolay. Next year this time, we're going to be talking about him. About being like a solid 2-starter. Hear me now, believe me, sooner than yesterday. Mookie Betts, 65 Topps retro. I expect a bounce back year from him. Andy Young. David Fletcher. I think this guy plays every position. If he leads off for the Angels, he might score 100 runs, but they're not going to make the playoffs. Jake Lamb, who's since been cut by Oakland, and somebody else who signed him, I think the Blue Jays, and then Stefan Crichton. That pack sucked. Wow. The best card of the evening was the first card of the evening, John Lennon in New York. So a trivia prize. Still have these 4 ornaments, which if nobody gets a tray, I'm probably just going to have to set these on fire. And Pat Burrell, how piece of ass prospect card. So trivia question. Which player did the Phillies lose to the Blue Jays in the early 80s in the Rule 5 draft? Just make sure you spell George's name right. Sometimes it used to be Jorge, like the 81 or 82 tops was spelled George Bell that way. It's really spelled George. So, which player was taken by the Blue Jays from the Phillies in the early 80s in the Rule 5 draft, who would have formed a solid 1-2 punch with Mike Schmidt as the decade went on? So, that's all I got tonight, fellas. Thank you all for joining. See you guys tomorrow night. You guys keep watching. I'll keep ripping. Have a good night, everybody.